DK Metcalf requests a trade
Yeah.
out of
Now,
Seattle.
what was first?
The request?
The Tyler Lockett
Request was
shit?
before Geno. So Lockett gets released, DK requests a
Lockett
trade, then
released.
Geno gets traded.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. I'm thinking, he could have known Geno was getting traded, and
Did.
DK was also. They offered DK. We're going to talk about Geno later, but they offered apparently Geno and DK for Max. And they were like, yeah, that's
For Max Crosby?
Yeah, for Max Crosby, they're like, we're just not going to do that. Like, we're not the Dallas Mavericks. We're not getting fleeced. Sorry. So
Sure.
we'll take Geno. But DK wants out. And it's kind of crazy how
I mean, at this point, it's valid.
Super valid. Well, at this point, I think it's expected. I mean, they just traded away Geno. They released Tyler Lockett. It looks like they're on a full rebuild mission. Now, the weird thing about Seattle is we were just talking about how this was probably going to be their last. We were basically saying they weren't making it to the playoffs next year. And the biggest reason is because this was probably the last year that this group was going to be together. And this group didn't even make it to training camp for next year together.
No.
They're done. I think DK will be traded very soon. Monday, the legal tampering window opens. So, which is funny that they call it that.
What, the
they
12th?
Call it the legal tampering. The 10th? The 10th, yeah.
Yeah, it is funny that they call it that. But there's a ton of tampering going on prior.
Do you think they call it the legal tampering period because they know there's a legal tampering going on before?
Wait, no, is the
I'm just saying, like, obviously, yeah. If I want to be that guy, I'm sure there's a specific reason why it's the legal tampering period. But it is funny to think that there's a bunch of illegal tampering right before the legal tampering period. Maybe someone just started calling it that for that particular reason. I don't know. Or I'm saying, like, maybe there was so much illegal tampering. There was so much illegal tampering going on that they were like, all right, we got to make like a legal tampering window. And they were like, that's actually a great name. We should rock with that.
It's actually a spectacular name.
But
don't tell Jameis that there's a legal tampering window.
What did Jameis? What are you referencing?
Nothing. I'm not referencing anything.
I'm maybe it's whoosh, but
tampering sounds like
not too sure. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about DK Metcalf then, Devin. Landing spots. We've talked landing spots for receivers, but very different types of receivers. We talked Debo, which I think we both agreed he was going to be the best fit for a team that needed a wide receiver too. And if he's lucky, a team that's a contender. And then boom, we had Devontae last episode. We're talking about him, and I think he can still go be a number one. It would be nice if there's a pretty clear number one on a team, and then he just makes his job and their job a lot easier by coming in and maybe just taking some of the load off of the wide receiver one. Either way,
or he just follows
DK
Aaron
Metcalf,
around again.
He could do that.
DK is cool though.
But DK Metcalf.
We're talking DK. I think he can either take an already pretty good team to the next level, like the Chargers, or he can kind of put another franchise on his back, but they have to be set up a little bit for him.
What are the franchises he could put on his back, though? Because I don't think he wants to waste any time, like, with the Patriots. All right? Like, I know
the
Patriots are going to get a wide receiver.
That was my first thought for a team that he could throw on the back.
And I think they're going to end up with the receiver. And I think, they're out on the T. Higgins trade, so they're not going for T. Higgins. They could not
tagged.
trade, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Devin. Before he even got tagged, they had came out and said that they were off of the T. Higgins train and weren't going to go after him. But then, yes, you're right. I keep forgetting. T. Higgins then got tagged. They didn't trade for Debo. Cooper Kupp is still. I mean, Cooper Kupp is still out there. Chris Godwin.
He could still not get traded.
I mean, Chris Godwin is still going to be, I think, someone that he's going to get a lot of phone calls too. So I'm saying New England has so many options. They might not, they might not need to trade as much away or lose as much trying to bring in somebody like DK, opposed to maybe signing Godwin or trading for Cooper. I don't know. Like you might save some money, save some picks, save a player. Who knows? I don't know what they're gonna save from it, but I think DK might be the most valuable, but you might have to give up the most. I don't think New England, if they're in a rebuild mode, I mean, why would you? It's almost like if the Raiders traded away Max Crosby for DK and Geno. It's like what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Are we rebuilding? Are we rebuilding this team, or are we?
Well, that's the thing. Like with the way that trades have been going, like and what teams are giving up, like what we gave up for Debo. Like shit, if you only have to give up a third for DK a third next year, I don't see why not. And it's like DK's younger than
a third.
I don't know how these trades are gonna go. I have no idea.
I think DK.
Maybe they give up a third and a fucking punter.
Okay,
no one knows.
Go a punter. Come on, Devin.
Devin.
We're not going for it.
I know, but like, we don't know how these are gonna go. But no, I think DK would be the. I mean, like you said, the Patriots are in a rebuilding stage. I don't think they're gonna go after a Cooper Kupp or some of these older receivers. I think if they are going to snag somebody, they're going to snag somebody young or draft somebody or whatever.
All right,
DK could be that guy. You never know.
So Bleacher Report, they have. I just wanted to look at how they're valuing him in trade packages before we go to more teams. So they're saying he could be traded for a round 2 pick, round 4 pick, and a wide receiver, a round 3 pick, and a 2026 conditional pick.
So that's a round 3rd. Pick, that's a 3 and a punter.
A round 1 pick, a round 1 pick, and a round 5, a round 1 pick and a round 5. I mean, they're valuing him pretty. Like I'm saying, like New England is probably looking forward to their next 4 first-round draft picks. They're probably not giving one up for DK. Probably.
Yeah.
Compared to all, I mean, I'm just saying the market. There's so many wide receivers available right now, and DK, like, remember.
You don't think Vrabel wants a guy like AJ Brown back though?
AJ Brown. What are you talking about?
I'm saying that Vrabel wants a guy like AJ Brown back. Maybe.
I don't think. I mean, here's the thing. I think that before they look at the trade where they have to give up a first-round pick for a wide receiver, they might look at the 4 or 5 great free agent wide receivers that are available.
Fair.
Especially if they're New England and they're, I think they're. I don't think they're. That's why they weren't in on T. Higgins. They're not trying to drop $30 million. They're not trying to trade a first-round pick. They're trying to slowly, rebuild this team. They're not obviously making the big move like Vegas and giving players biggest contracts in history. I mean, it's just, I think they're moving a little different than Vegas, and I don't know why. Maybe because Vegas, I don't know, they're in Vegas, so they're pressured to win.
Yes, they're pressured to win, so they went out and got Geno Smith. That makes a fuck ton of sense.
Oh, well, Pete Carroll makes plenty of sense. But Patriots, no. I think the most obvious you said right in the beginning. We'll get to that. You said right in the beginning of this segment, I believe, the Chargers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a super easy. That's the most obvious one. Like, I'm sure the Chargers picked the phone up right away when DK requested a trade, and
immediately
wouldn't be surprised if first day of the draft, the Chargers trade for DK Metcalf. But like I said, DK,
I think the Chargers
Devontae Adams.
The Chargers are up on every receiver that's available.
And I'm making that move for DK before Devontae, probably Cooper Kupp. And see, here's the thing: they're gonna make a move because they released Gus Edwards and they released Joey Bosa.
They released Gus?
Yeah, they released Gus today.
I thought it was just Bosa.
Gus Edwards is a free agent. You want him?
Yes. Yes, please.
You do? Do you actually want Gus Edwards to Washington?
Why not?
Okay, all right. I'll make a call.
$7 million. I'll take this shit out of him.
All right.
Why not?
I wouldn't be mad at that.
No.
All right. Okay. Now the obvious win nows. He could get traded to Buffalo. He could get traded to Kansas City. Don't want to see him in Baltimore. I know I.
Why not?
But every single wide receiver, Devin, for the last 10 fucking years, that is, rumored to get traded, or he might do this, he might do that. The Ravens get brought up, and for years, I got excited. Remember when we thought D-Hop? Was going to be a Raven? Remember when, it was Julio? Does Julio want to come? Remember when we thought Antonio Brown was going to go play with Baltimore?
Prime Julio. Oh, yes. Well, he wanted to play with his cousins.
Come on, bro. We thought it was going to be the Brown cousins together. We thought all this shit. And every single time the Ravens, they let me down. They let Ravens fans down. Yeah. We don't get that superstar wide receiver. We get Odell and Des Bryant and Deshaun Jackson. We get these fuckers. The only old wide receiver we picked up that ball was fucking Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Nelson Aguilar. Hey, there you go. I don't know. But and I think the Ravens are.
You don't want him? Or you don't think you'll get it? You don't want to get your hopes up? Is this a damaged situation? Or is this I don't want him? Everybody wants DK, dude. You were hyping him up this year for the first time.
I think I might be too emotionally attached to make that decision, I guess.
Fair. I think he would fit.
I'm not
perfect. I think he would fit so well. It wouldn't even be funny. I think Zay Flowers would be opened up so much. I think you would have a dude over the top. You have a big dude.
Don't fucking do this to me, Devin. Don't make
plus
me think
Isaiah
that.
Likely.
Don't
Mac.
make me think. Stop it.
I won't.
Don't make me think I'm going to go out here and end up with the greatest offense of all time in my face every Sunday.
I won't.
But I would like it.
That would be dope.
It'd be cool, but I don't want it. I don't want it. Speaking shit in the non-existence, Devin.
Y'all don't need it, for
the
sure.
The Rams, we don't need it. And I think the Ravens are interested in their homegrown talent at the wide receiver position, and maybe they need to just let go of some of that pride. And that's kind of one of John Harbaugh's biggest problems is his ego, but whatever. We'll see how that pans out. We'll see, bro. There's so many wide receivers. I don't know what the Ravens are gonna do. But I think they could make a move. I'm not too sure. The other LA team, DK could go to the Rams. Especially, you want to give up Coop? You want to get rid of Coop? Give me Puka and DK. Give me Stafford throwing to Puka and DK.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day. I will take Puka and DK. If Cooper wants to go, Cooper wants to get traded, Cooper wants to bitch and complain in the locker room about getting chopped, or I don't know if I'll be here. Well, now you know. We're bringing DK.
You think they're trading in their own division?
I think if Seattle's in full tank rebuild mode, I don't think they care who they send him to. You know?
Yeah.
The Browns are always in this cloud. The Browns are in this weird cloud where they always think they're making winning moves. So they think that they're a team that can win, right? So to them, they're like, we can't trade Myles Garrett to an AFC North team. It would actually matter. It wouldn't matter. Either way, they're going the Browns are going to lose. So it's I don't know if Seattle knows they're not winning games. They're getting rid of literally everybody. Fuck it. We'll trade you for Cooper, and we'll just let Cooper run with Drew Lock or whoever's out there. I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know what
we'll make it work.
Damn, they really.
Who is out there now? No, Drew Lock's in New York. Who is in? I don't even know who's out there.
What a shame.
They're interested in Sam Darnold, but that's a whole other conversation.
Look at what they've done to old Mike McDonald out there. What a shame that is. Pete Carroll went up to the front office, said, "Here, take the keys to the team," and then they said, "You know what? Everybody's gone. Get rid of this mediocre team with a superstar." Is
I
Tyler
mean, Mike
Lockett gonna
McDonald's
retire?
old.
Huh?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Mike McDonald, not old, excuse me. Mike McDonald is young.
Yeah.
I think they got plenty of time to cook up something with him in the future.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I mean, we bring Pittsburgh up in every
Of
wide
course.
receiver conversation. Only thing about them is, and that's another conversation for later in this episode, but they got to figure out their quarterback situation before they figure out, who to pair up with George Pickens. I've been, it's a dead horse that I continue to beat in the corner of this room, Devin. But George Pickens needs somebody to take that pressure off of him, and that offense is going to look crazy. DK could be that. I mean, and you want to talk about not trading your division. All right, we're going to send him to the other side of the country and just not worry about him at all. And it'd be simple as that. And then my only dark horse, which is weird because, I mean, they're not a good team, but you said, like, putting a team on their back. It's like, all right, well, what team has, like, never been that good, has a quarterback that is good and could ball out with weapons, is in a poor division and probably only is a couple moves away from being contenders and winning their division? He could get traded to Jacksonville. Finally give Trevor, like, a serious, threat downfield to throw to. I mean,
that feels more like a death sentence for bro. I actually. All right, hold on, hear me out. Houston. Houston doesn't get Steph or Coop or anybody else. They got just Nico. Throw on DK.
Well, they traded for Kirk.
Christian Kirk?
They traded for Christian Kirk. I'm saying Jacksonville just traded Christian Kirk out of there.
Yeah, but so they were this close. No, they were this close to releasing Christian Kirk and then found a trade for him. Because the initial report was we're gonna release him. So,
but I'm saying, do the Raiders make Raiders? What's up?
Jags. You said to the Jags.
No. But I'm saying, does Houston make that move for DK because or does Houston make that move for Christian Kirk because they know they're probably not gonna get some big name? I mean, why make the move for Christian Kirk if you know you're gonna bring in some big guy, some big name?
It's pennies. It's a guy. It's a third.
I guess.
It's a vet.
I guess.
It's cheap.
But then what if you know? But to me, that could also say you're bringing Diggs back. So you're going
Maybe.
What? Tank. You're going Tank. Or who tore their knee up? I always
Tank tore his knee. It's Nico and Diggs.
So Nico, Diggs, and Kirk. I mean, CJ Stroud, if he is who we think he is, he can work with that.
Of course,
no.
I'm saying.
But
I'm saying without Stephon or without Cooper, then you can throw in a DK if you are able to get him.
But I just wouldn't mind the move to Jacksonville because, like, after this, there'd be no excuse for Trevor Lawrence. It's like, obviously, there'd be some more moves to make around, the team. And
but there is, yeah, unless they make full team moves and a good head coach move and their ownership sucks and their GM sucks, and it's like, I think that's just throwing DK into a shit situation that even Trevor can't get out of regardless.
But, I mean, you also have a terrible division. I mean, you should be able to win that division with that duo.
Yeah, but the Texans can win the division as well.
They can, but I don't know what type of moves they're going to make. I really don't know.
No, neither do I. What's the Colts? So you go to the Colts and get the worst balls thrown to him and all.
You want to talk about a death sentence? You want to talk about a fucking death sentence? Come on, bro. I go play every game in the frozen tundra at 0 degrees, negative 32 degrees, if I don't got to catch balls from Anthony Richardson for a year. The fuck out of here.
Agreed.
I'm not
Agreed.
doing that shit. I'll
Thank
go
you for
risk
finally
tearing my
saying.
ACL with the Giants. Bro, all right, I'm not going to be – I'm a Gator fan, but I'm not going to sit here and play stupid. I'm not going to sit here and play dumb. We all know what Anthony Richardson is, and we know what he isn't. He can change that. He can change that.
Yes, he can.
I'm just saying what he, that's the product that that's what. Look,
that's what
I'm
he's
just
shown
the
us.
messenger, Devin. I'm just the messenger, Devin. But if I had to guess a landing spot for DK, because I do think he will be traded. I don't think this is a situation where he might stay. I think he's out.
And when you talk like don't shoot the messenger or whatever, it reminds me of like how you're like, I don't give a fuck what Shams does, and I agree. I don't give a fuck what Shams or Schefter or Woj or what any of these guys do.
Oh, like how they're retiring?
Yeah, Woj is Woj is selling his phones from his career. Well, look how cool it is. It's like, this is the phone that announced Braun to the Lakers.
Look, okay, is it stupid? Yes.
Yes.
But I did see that, like, I don't know, a bunch of the money's going to charity. It's not just for him to.
All right, never mind.
Richer. I mean,
all right, but what?
Yeah,
what fucking
I was
charity?
the same way though. I was the same way though.
The
I was
LeBron
like,
James Foundation.
Stupid. But I guess I'll say charge. I mean, I'm gonna keep.
The info's going. I don't know. Whatever. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, I don't care about. That's the thing. I don't care about Woj's phones. I'd rather talk about hypothetical DK landing spots. But the only place that I'm gonna keep saying until they get a receiver is the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers have to make a move at some point, and I think DK is obviously at the top of that list for now. And that's who I'm gonna go with, the Chargers.
Releasing Bosa frees up cap space. Releasing Gus frees up a decent amount of space, but yeah, I don't know. Doesn't seem super necessary unless they're looking at another running back. Maybe planning on getting like a late Cam Scatterbo pickup or something. Which I can see them doing. Getting a white running back. Seems like the Harbaugh way.
I don't know.
Just kidding. I don't think I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few teams. Chargers are probably atop that. But
okay, all right, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going Chargers until they make a move for a receiver. All right, we discussed DK Metcalf, where he's gonna go. I mean.